Hey, welcome. So, today we're diving into the work of the legendary Jim Rohn. He was a philosopher with this really big idea. What if the secret to a better life isn't about changing everything around you, but about changing you? It sounds simple, right? But trust me, as we're about to see, this idea is an absolute game changer.
All right, let's just pause on this for a second. This one sentence, this is basically the core of everything we're going to talk about today. It's not about trying to control the weather or your boss or the traffic. It's about getting a handle on the one thing you actually can control, yourself.
And this really brings us to a question at the very heart of Rohn's whole philosophy. Think about it for yourself. Are you the one designing your life, like an architect with a blueprint? Or are you just drifting? It's so easy to just get pulled along by the currents, your job, the daily news, what everyone else thinks you should be doing. But Rohn says, hey, there's another way. You can actually be the one holding the plans. So how do you do that? Well, the main tool in the toolbox here is something Ron called self-mastery. And look, this isn't some mystical, abstract concept. It's a practical, learnable skill. It's literally the practice of taking control of your inner world, your thoughts, your beliefs, so that you can start shaping the outer world you actually want to live in. Okay, so let's get into the first part of this blueprint. Where does it all begin? Well, it starts right here, in the control center of your entire life, your mind. It's kind of weird when you think about it, right? We go to school to learn about history, science, math, but how often does anyone teach us how our own minds actually work? For a lot of us, our thoughts, our moods, our worries, they're the ones driving the car. The very first step to self-mastery is just about getting your hands back on the steering wheel. So this really puts a choice right in front of us. On one hand, you've got the reactive mindset. This is where your thoughts just run the show. You're at the mercy of every little feeling, and negativity can feel, well, poisonous. But then there's the other option, the proactive mindset. This is where you control your thoughts, where you're fueled by what's possible. You become the master of your mind, not the other way around. And the amazing thing is, we get to decide which one we want to be. Okay, so you're probably asking, how do I actually do that? Well, Rohn lays out this incredibly simple but powerful 3-step exercise. Step 1, just catch the thought. Become aware of that little voice in your head that says, I can't do this. Just notice it. Step 2, challenge it. Ask it, hey, is that really true? And then step 3, flip it. You take that statement, I can't, and you turn it into a question. Okay, how can I? That tiny little linguistic flip, it changes absolutely everything. All right, so once you start getting a better handle on what's going on inside your head, the next logical question is, so what? How do you actually make it real? How does this internal shift translate into the world outside, into your actual life? A lot of us think of success as this one big flashy event, right? Like winning the lottery or getting that one massive promotion. But Jim Rohn would say that's a total fantasy. That's not how real success works. The real secret? It's not one big thing. It's the sum of 1,000 small things. It's the little, consistent actions you take every single day. It's doing that workout when you really, really don't feel like it. It's reading just one more page of that book before you fall asleep. These are the tiny habits that, brick by brick, build the life you want over time. Now, this next one is probably one of Jim Rohn's most famous, and honestly, one of his most challenging ideas. He said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that. The people in your life are either pulling you up or they're dragging you down. So, this forces you to take a really honest look around. Who are those 5 people in your inner circle? Are they the kind of people who challenge you, who inspire you to be better? Or are they the ones who kind of keep you stuck? Who feed into the negativity? A huge part of mastering your life is being really deliberate about who you let influence you. Okay, so you're working on your thoughts, you're looking at your environment, but what happens when you hit a wall? You know those days when the motivation is just gone, when things get tough? That's where this next piece of the puzzle comes in, the power of sheer consistency. Rowan had this great way of looking at discipline. He saw it as the bridge between your goals and actually accomplishing them. And listen, this isn't about being perfect or becoming some kind of robot. It's much simpler. It's just about doing the thing you said you were going to do long after that initial burst of excitement or motivation has faded. So what's the one thing that stops us more than anything else? It's fear, right? But Rome's take on fear is totally different. He says fear isn't a stop sign. It's actually a green light. It's a signal that you're pushing up against the edge of your comfort zone, and that's exactly where all the growth happens. The trick isn't to not feel fear. It's to feel the fear and take action anyway. So let's kind of wrap our heads around this. The whole journey of self-mastery, it's not a destination. There's no finish line where you get a trophy and you're done. It's a lifelong process. It's not about being perfect. It's just about making progress. The real goal here is just to become a little bit better today than you were yesterday. That's the win. All right, now for what might be the most important part of this whole thing. Because honestly, everything we've talked about is just theory until you actually do something with it. And your journey doesn't start tomorrow or on Monday. It starts right now. You know, the biggest mistake people make is they try to change everything all at once. And that's just a recipe for burnout. The real key, start small. I mean, make the first step so ridiculously tiny that you literally can't fail. Just pick one thing. Seriously, what is the absolute smallest action you could take right now? Maybe it's just catching and challenging one negative thought. Maybe it's just putting on your workout shoes and walking to your mailbox and back. Maybe it's reading a single paragraph. Just one thing. And this is so critical. Do not wait until you feel ready. Because guess what? You'll be waiting forever. Real change kicks in the second you start, especially when you don't feel ready. So that one little thing you just thought of, go do it. Today. That's how you build momentum. And I really want to leave you with this final thought. This whole idea of self-mastery, it's not a selfish thing. It's actually the complete opposite. It's about becoming the greatest version of yourself so that you can give that version to your family, to your friends, to the world. The world is waiting for you to show up. Are you ready?